So I'm gonna let y'all come in and then I'm gonna start talking. I need to calm down a little bit anyway. I'm gonna leave this up though. So this morning I got called to someone's house that was having a repossession done. And it was like 6:30, so it was still dark. And like it's a long story with the person, but they had been doing some work on their own, so they got as far as discharging the car, but they didn't lien the car. So discharge, but no lien. Let's see what else. Um, I don't think about some more details I could tell. I'll share that. But so they discharged it, and you can pull their credit report and see that they discharged it. The account is showing paid, never late. Account closed, paid, never late. Yeah. So she said that she woke up and it was a repo truck like parked somewhere away, and then the repo truck came or whatever. So by the time I got there, the repo truck actually had the, I don't know what you call it, a little black thing, but it was under the car already. But the car wasn't lifted, but it was under, well, I don't know, it could have been slightly lifted, but not off the ground, but it was under the car. Remember that? Under the car. Okay. So when I come, I just ask him if he has a warrant, and he says yes. He says yes, it's in the truck. So I say, okay, can we see it? He goes in the truck, but he comes back out with a phone. And he shows me what I recognize as like a repo order from the company that he works for or contracts with. And it's on his phone. Okay. So I don't know. I asked him again. I said, do you have a warrant from the courthouse? And he says yes, but he's still holding the phone. And I say, well, where is it? And he's still holding the phone. He don't answer. He started getting rowdy, so it's getting there. It's getting elevated. So I say, well, she has documentation where the car's been discharged already. Close the door. So he says impossible. And by that time, I tell her to call the police. Just call the police. So she calls the police, and I don't know what he was doing with the boom, but um, he starts doing something. I don't know if he had it under there and then maybe he tried to lift it, but my foot is like at the front of the car, and when he does what he does, he drops the thing on my foot. So I start screaming. I'm like, you got the thing. You smashing my foot. He says, no, he's not. He has cameras and it's not smashing my foot. So police arrives. He tells the police that he has a repo order. He shows the repo thing on his phone. I tell the police he doesn't have a warrant. He needs a warrant. The police tell him, ask who's the property owner. Property owner identifies themselves. He tells them that, ask them if he asks them to leave. And he says yes. So he turns to the repo driver and tells the repo driver that he has to leave. The repo driver says, well, I'm already hooked to the truck, to the car, so it's mine. And the police tell him, no, it's not yours. He tells him that it's a civil matter and it's a disturbance at this point. And he makes him drop said car and leave because the property owner told him to leave. Meanwhile, my foot is smashed. So she got to keep her car. And that's what happened. Everything went too fast for me to get any footage. I wasn't really thinking about getting any footage. But that's what happened, y'all. And I talked to the police officer some more. after the fact. And yeah, there's a lot of repossessions being done fraudulently. So if you just let them have your car, I guess you just let them have your car. But she has her car. So she gonna have to figure out what is going on. I saw where it is discharged. So I don't know. What y'all think? Yeah, I'm glad she lived close. It was a weird interaction. Very weird. If me personally, I would have leaned it when I discharged it. It's hard to say what'll happen next. She needs to lean it. So hopefully she does that this week. But I'll keep y'all posted. And like the guy, he was like real arrogant. Like when I told them to call the police, he was like, I already called the police. They're coming. I don't know, y'all. This I told them to give me an incident report because he smashed my foot. I really couldn't believe he was sitting there mashing that thing and then telling me, you lying. I didn't do that. I can see it on camera. And I'm like, clearly you can't. Because you sat there and it was on my feet and you kept pushing it. I don't know. I couldn't have that job. No way would I do that. I was thinking, my mama said that, Carissa. My mama said that this morning. She was like, oh no. She looked at my foot and she was like, it's swollen. It's like he tried to, he's like, it pancaked my foot. My car was recently repossessed, but I still want to discharge it. You can. You can get it back. So I got somebody's car back last week and their car had been gone for a little bit over a month. How long has it been? It's a lot of different ways. I've seen a lot of different things. I had one person, that's why I say, y'all, some of these people coming up with their own processes. Well, not coming up with their own processes, but they using this aspect and that aspect and combining it together and creating a process. I had one person that said they filed bankruptcy last week and got their car back the next day. I didn't even know y'all was doing bankruptcy. But yeah, you can discharge it. And how old was it a loan? Was it a car loan or lease? If the car loan was over 3 years, yeah, I would go ahead and do a 1099-C. Because one thing that all of these companies are violating is they're not even supposed to be collecting after 3 years at all. Period, point blank, no conversation. It was an installment loan, yeah. I would just cancel that 1099-C, all of it. Make sure you put the same amounts in both blocks, the interest block and the amount of block. It should have the same amount because this is all interest, and I think that's what's throwing y'all off with the 1099s. But yeah, you can most definitely discharge it. 4 months, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll bet so. All about the 3 years. And they're banking on everybody not knowing that. They're collecting on these debts for 10 plus 15 years and then selling it and collecting on it again. And the 1099s, what I've been seeing, they're doing a lot of discharging and still selling those accounts. So yeah, discharge it, cancel it. I'm gonna put up a utility notice. It's a notice to the utility companies about embezzlement. I'm gonna put that up later. It's a one shot deal. They go to your corporate office of your utilities. And if y'all are seeing the bills where it says do not pay in the block where you normally see how much your light bill is, it say do not pay. If y'all seen those, that's what they're sending in. They're sending in that utility notice document of embezzlement. Yeah, yep. Most of this stuff on your credit report, that's what they're doing, what Carissa said. They are charging it off and still pursuing debt collection. They are selling those accounts to other companies. And I heard, there's a TikTok of somebody actually calling a company and they admit it. They admit that they bought it. Yeah, I'm gonna put it up. I got it. I just got it this weekend. I'm gonna put it up probably today. I gotta crop it a little bit so it'll fit, and I'm gonna put it up. And you can either print it, type it, whatever. It's just read it. It tells you everything. It lays out the embezzlement and how 192 HJR 192 was meant to take care of utility bills. They're being discharged every month or yearly. They know they're supposed to be discharged. That is a treasury obligation. And they go on to say that it's embezzlement. They're embezzling money month after month. But yeah, I'm going to start on that and I'm going to put that up while I do a live and show it. I want to put it up so I can leave it up though. Currently in repossession, but on a payment plan. How currently in repossession? You on a payment plan with the repossession company? How you on a payment plan for a payment plan? You mean like a regular car payment? I'm not understanding. Tell them to point you in the direction of the warrant for repossession. Ask them where it is, do they have it, or where can you go to locate it with the lender. You're on a payment plan with the lender. So where does the repossession come in? Or you mean it's up for repossession? If it's only up for repossession, I would probably, if you can, just resend it. Go ahead and either resend the second installment contract, meaning lay out your contract. If you know how to look at your contract and tell where the first contract stopped and the second one began. That might be something I need to go live and show y'all because I never did anything with that. If you look at most car contracts, it's actually two contracts. It's not one contract. It's two. It's where the car was sold and bought outright. And then the second one is an installment contract. That's why the names change. If you look at it, it'll say sale or something like that. Sale, car sale. And then down in your contract, it changes and says installment agreement. That's why that wording changes, because that's two different contracts. If you know how to go in there and separate them and find your security, even if you can't separate them, if you know how to go in there and find your security interest, it's going to be in the second contract. You need to take that and resend that page, meaning sign it, cross it out, and resend it. Send that back to them with a rescission notice. Put the codes in there. I think it's, what is it, y'all? 15, 16, 92? Anyway, it's up on the channel somewhere. Put the rescission code in there. Tell them you're wanting to rescind the security interest from the installment agreement, that second contract. Sign it, cross it out, initial it, send it back to them with an affidavit of truth and fact and notice of rescission, and rescind that security interest. Assign it, reassign it back to yourself or a bank or whoever you want to reassign it to for collection. And that takes care of it. I'll put up a live about rescission if y'all want to see more in depth, because I never did show y'all how to separate the two contracts. But if you know how to do that, even if you don't, if you know how to go in and look for the page that talks about security interest, that's where your money went. They guided us into giving them the security interest. And the security interest was that's what's supposed to actually take care of the payment. But they guided us, put the blinders on our eyes, and guided us into not reading the contracts and signing off to give them the security interest. But now we know better, so we know how to go in there and get it back. If you got time to do that, then you probably don't even need to deal with the repossession. Because you said, did you say up for repossession? No, he needs the rescission in the credit one. He needs the one, I think it's, I know it's 1690 something, I think. He needs that one. Right to rescission. I'll do a live. Give me a second. I have my Carvana contracts. I'll do a live and we'll walk through how we all got tricked into this, because I really skipped that. Y'all pull your contracts out if you have them. And we'll talk about how that's two contracts and not one. We signed it as one. And that goes against the full disclosure laws. That violated our full disclosure laws, but that's a whole other conversation. But yeah, that's two contracts. It's not one contract. We actually bought the car, paid for it, and then they refinanced it again. The car was bought in the first contract. Yeah, that one. Okay, y'all, give me a second to pull the contracts out, and I'll do a live and we'll talk about it.